I'm 24. I'm the VP of marketing, and the reason you should listen to me is because I don't sell anything except for B2B software, which is the company I work at. I don't have a course. I don't do sponsorships. I don't do anything else. I simply want to make a difference in the world, and the way that I do this is by providing education to you. And I'm completely transparent about everything that happens in my life, and I hope that makes a difference for one other person. And because of that, I think it's at least worth a listen. And if you say, "Hey, Jonah, you're crazy," let me know in the comments because then I can improve, and also, hey, it helps the algorithm. So, boost, help me out. What I wanted to talk about today is an experience that I had with a family member who spends money in a different way than you would. Now, how does this relate to business? How does this relate to making money? We all have friends or family members or a spouse or partner or a business partner who spends money maybe a whole lot more than you and a lot differently than you in ways you don't value. How do you manage that? Well, here's my situation. My dad is the CEO of the company that I work at, and he is well known to spend money. If there's anything he's good at, he can certainly write a check. And he oftentimes writes checks for things I certainly would not. I'm geared towards let me learn and invest my money and try to make it grow and take a very risk averse approach. And he is very much the hey, I will enjoy this experience and it might cost quite a bit, but I'm going to do it anyway. And for me, I wouldn't spend my money that way. This was really hard for me because I saw somebody who I am close to, who I know, who I relate to, who I care about, spend money in ways that really are not aligned with my values. And I also saw that, hey, he's in a time of financial toughness and he still spends money kind of how I would define it, frivolously. What do I do? Well, here's the process that I went through. I spoke to them about it. And at first it was uncomfortable because it's, hey, Jonah, you're a kid. I'm your father. And I can spend money how I want. And you know what? That is true. If it's somebody else's money, you just need to recognize, let them, it is theirs. They can work and then spend it however they want. And even if it is not how you would spend it, it's their choice. However, there is something that I learned, which is he explained to me his decision making framework on how he spends money. And once he did, even though I still wouldn't spend the money on the way that he did, I understood why he did it. And here's what he explained to me. Hey, Jonah, I am 51 years old and I go through very different phases of life than you. I am at a point where I am much more putting value on experiences because I'm realizing that I don't have all the time that you have. So it's more valuable for me to have less money, but to enjoy the money that I do have by spending on these experiences because that's more meaningful and impactful for me with the time that I have left. And you know what? I can't blame him for doing that. Even though I still think he should make a different choice, that's me casting my judgment on somebody else. And as soon as you put your happiness in somebody else, or if they don't make this decision, it negatively affects your emotions, you're giving them power over how you feel. You're saying if you act in this way, it's going to make me feel a certain way, and I'm not going to act. It's going to make me feel negatively. It's going to control how I feel or act. And that's not good because as soon as somebody else's actions can dictate how you feel, you're in a very emotionally roller coaster. You don't have control over what's going to happen, and you are in a precarious situation. So, how did I deal with it? I, as much as possible from this family member, I'm completely financially independent, where they could spend money however they want, and no matter how much debt or not debt or whatever they did, I still have my own independence financially. I have my own place I can live, my own vehicle, I pay for all my own insurance, everything else. So I am separated from them, and I have that space so that no matter what they decide to do, I know, hey, I'm going to be safe. They can live their life, and that is okay. And if that's the choice that they choose to make, that's their choice. And I don't need to stress about it because I can take all that attention and I can put it back towards whatever it is that I want to focus on building, doing, improving myself as an individual. That's what I can put the time and focus towards. So, if you have a spouse or a family member or somebody you care about or a business partner who spends money a lot differently, that's the approach that I went through to have the conversation to understand them. I haven't done it with a spouse or a girlfriend who spends all their money in a crazy way, and maybe I'll have a different approach when that comes. But hey, maybe you've dealt with that, and I would love to hear how that went for you. This is me documenting my life as I journey towards 1 million in net worth. For reference, I am currently at about 150,000 in net worth, which is the same as I started because it's been a week. And I currently get paid every 2 weeks, and I do not have any additional income at this time. But hopefully that will change, and I can start to get income from, maybe it's ad revenue, maybe it's this growing, and I get to expand in other ways on platforms, or maybe I fire up the cooking channel that I've had at 1,000 subs and I haven't been active with. Who knows what I decide to do, but that is where I'm at. I hope this is useful for somebody else who looks back and says, hey, Jonah, you are doing this great old business. What was it like when you were 24 and still had so much to learn? And they can go back and listen to this and see what I faced and the processes I went through to understand how I solved those so that I can eventually hit 1 million and beyond in net worth.